Our last infectious agent that I'd like to cover in this lecture is smallpox. The reason for this is that not because smallpox has been historically used as a bioweapon extensively, but rather because many governments around the world still store smallpox virus in freezers and study it in order to ensure we have effective defense mechanisms against the use of it as a bioweapon. We'll talk about why so many governments are concerned about smallpox during this portion. Smallpox is a highly contagious virus caused by a virus known as variola major. This particular virus kills 1/3 or 30% of everyone who's infected by it. Before 1979, it was known to kill 2 million people every year. It's easily spread between people, usually by inhalation of aerosols or air that's come from coughing or sneezing of an infected individual. However, it can also be spread on items, so infected individuals don't even have to be in the room. People infected with this virus carry and spread it for 12 days without showing signs or symptoms. This is known as the incubation period. Throughout this nearly 2-week period, those individuals are also infecting others, and they don't even know it. Symptoms of smallpox are small pimples on the skin, specifically in areas of the extremities of the body, such as the arms, hands, legs, feet, and head. The torso, though, the warmer area of the body, is generally pustule-free. This is accompanied by flu-like symptoms and vomiting. Thankfully for us today, this horrific disease had a vaccine. In fact, it was the very first vaccine ever to be developed. It was developed by Edward Jenner in essentially 1800. Edward Jenner noted that milkmaids never seemed to get the disease. Noticeable scars that people with smallpox would have for the rest of their lives were absent from milkmaid skin. When asked, the milkmaids said they would get cowpox, a related virus, but never contracted smallpox. So Edward Jenner hypothesized that perhaps having cowpox prevented someone from acquiring smallpox. He tested this hypothesis on a child of his gardener, who he knew had never had smallpox before. He gave this child cowpox, waited a couple weeks, and then tried to infect him with smallpox. When this child did not contract smallpox, Edward Jenner tried infecting him with smallpox again 6 months later, and the immunity to smallpox held. As word got around about the ability of cowpox protecting an individual from smallpox, more and more parents signed up. Eventually, better vaccines were made and spread to many people around the world. This continued with the Worldwide Health Organization known as the WHO, organized through the United Nations, disseminated this vaccine to as many people around the world as they could in order to eradicate this horrific disease. Eventually, this was a success. In 1979, smallpox was declared officially eradicated around the world. Because this disease is only carried by people, by having no more people carrying this disease, that essentially means this disease is gone from our planet. This is why no one gets the smallpox vaccine anymore, with, of course, the minor exception that perhaps if you're enrolled in the military, you may still get the smallpox vaccine. And that's because of an ongoing concern that enemy governments may use stockpiles of smallpox in an offensive strategy to attack their enemies. And as a means to defend ourselves, we still continue to inoculate military troops with smallpox vaccines. Other possible bioweapons could include Ebola, cholera, and some others. But we won't talk about those in this lecture because it's a very long list. The U.S. also has protective measures in place to search for and detect the use of bioweapons, either by enemy governments or by terrorists. This program is called the BioWatch program and monitors roughly 30 cities around our nation looking for genetic traces of infectious agents known to be possible bioweapons. These cities and the locations that are being monitored are kept highly secret as a means of defensive mechanisms to keep potential terrorists from going undiscovered. It's a very expensive program, but from what the media can uncover, it is continuing and ongoing. That's all we have for our bioweapons lecture. Until next time.